Perfect.
Okay, is everything coming through pretty clear?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
So,
If
hello. Go for it.
if our video ever cuts out or our sound starts getting choppy, just let us know and we'll see what we can do to fix it. But yeah, we're ready to go.
Let's do it. So, hello and welcome to Wild Wild Web 1.0. 2.0 will come shortly. How's everybody doing today?
Real good.
Good, good. I promise you that by the end of this interactive presentation, you will know exactly which tools you need to virtually 100% protect your privacy and both your digital, soft, and hard properties, such as your information and your equipment. Please ask questions by making comments at any time in the chat box and during the Q&A session later, and I will be happy to unmute you. This call is recorded, so you will be able to re-listen to it uh, at your convenience. My name is Dr. Elena Pezzini. I am a PhD business psychologist, certified business coach, #1 best-selling author, and CEO of the You Have Got the Power companies. I am Italian American, hence the accent. I apologize, but it's still there. And most of you know me personally and how much I care about empowering people like you to excel at whatever they are passionate about in life. And I've learned that in order to thrive and excel now in this era that heavily relies on technology, it is vital to have simple systems in place to protect your digital properties, or literally everything will crumble in a matter of nanoseconds. That happened to me, and I picked myself up with the help of the gentleman I'm about to introduce you. And that's why I decided to share this important information so you all are safe. So we have Mr. Sawyer Payne, who is one of the partners at Akashic Flow, a technology think tank with innovative solutions that are customized to people's and business needs. He's always learning the newest cutting edge systems within computer sciences, and he will be sharing them with all of us. Mr. Andro da Costa is the best solutions and performance architect I know in the IT world and makes the impossible possible. He's an outstanding and fast technology problem solver. He finds solutions to all technological challenges. And then Mr. Rob Jackson may join us as well. He's the best digital forensic analyst in the Northwest of the USA. Forensic partner with Akashic Flow Solutions, main intelligence person at Hewlett Packard, and he has won all court cases of technology litigation. Works with Fortune 20 and is connected to the best artificial intelligence of the nation and can, of course, help us as well. So, with no further ado, let's start with Mr. Sawyer Payne. All right, Sawyer, it's all yours.
Right.
Take it away.
Well, hey everyone, I'm Sawyer and I'm here to tell you about Akashic Flow. Um, Akashic Flow is a performance, solutions, and security architecture company. We operate wherever trust is needed. We have clients in the high-end film industry, and we are a think tank. We are a think tank that produces solutions. Some of our current solutions that we're developing is intellectual property research and development, a zero-day lab, military-grade solutions. We create fully operational prototypes. We have partners like WT4 and 6 forensics firm, and we custom make solutions for whatever problem we face. So today's talk will be about the Wild Wide Web, and I'll be handing it off to Andre here to talk about a brief history of the Wild Wide Web.
Well, how's everyone doing tonight?
All right, Andre, let me give you some introduction with a little bit of music.
Music. Oh no.
All right, and we are all ears. Go for it. Welcome, Andre.
Well, thank you for the introduction. Well,
Oh.
I don't know how many of you guys know about the internet, but this is just a brief introduction of the World Wide Web and how it started. How many of you have had the experience to use dial-up by any chance?
Yes, in the past.
In the past. So as you guys know, it's become a long way from dial-up. So since 1969, ever since the first computers and scientists were able to communicate through calling out a number, just the way fax technologies work, we were able to see websites and all kinds of things. By 1982, the internet became a thing. By 1994, Netscape was the first web browser publicly available for anyone. Yahoo and Amazon first came out. Then Lycos and eBay and Java, AOL. And then from there, we had DSL, which I bet a lot of you are very accustomed to. From there, we go to Google, MySpace, and how we know the internet today. But from there to today, a lot of things have happened to the point that the global population and internet users for 2020 is just amazing. We're talking about right now we have like 3 to 4 billion devices, and by 2020 we're going to have 5 billion users, and from a 7 to 8 billion population estimate, of course. And this means that the more devices there are in the internet, since everything is interconnected, everything is shared. And as we will see further this presentation, I'll show you guys links where you guys can see like live attacks and how things are happening on the internet as we speak at this moment.
Sounds
So
good.
here's
Andre,
a little...
let me just interrupt you for a moment. Kimberly, I'm unmuting you. I want you to participate, but your background is noisy. So is there any way you can use a headset so we can just focus on your voice and not on your background? Or maybe can you perhaps change room? I don't know. We're just hearing some feedback on your end, but I would like you to participate. It's interactive, and we'll be asking lots of questions. Kimberly, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
How are you doing, Kimberly?
Is there still feedback? We turned the TV down.
Okay. Now it's better. Much better. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. All righty.
Beautiful. Okay, go for it, Andre.
So Kimberly, do you have a question?
No, I'm interested in, I see the chart, and I'm interested in all the progression from the very beginning to, there's so many different types of platforms and services today.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, all right. So here, this is a picture of your internet. What you guys don't have any of you guys heard of the dark net or the dark web, as they call it, or the deep web? Have you guys ever heard that term before?
Yes.
Well, basically, what that stands for, I know the media talks about it as it being somewhere evil, but really, what it really is the unindexed internet that has been created since 1969. So there's all kinds of computers and devices. There's even dial-up machines that still work that have been connected for years and unattended for. So the internet you know today is only, I'm going to say 8 to 10% roughly, and 10% being too much to say, 8.7 or something like that. It's like WordPress, Drupal, Facebook, Bing, YouTube, and all that known internet. The things have been indexed by Google, and as we will see later, how Google works as a web crawler. So it just scavenges the internet for any machines that are connected, and then it creates a database upon databases of machines that it finds. It's been doing it since its inception. So as you go deeper in the internet, you have like Mega Upload, Taringa, you got the Pirate Bay, you got BitTorrents, let's say at a level 3. And then let's say level 4 and 5, we have Bitcoin and Tor and all the anonymous stuff of WikiLeaks and all that stuff. And then level 6, you then find in some places you find like secret government communications and state versus state cyber warfare type of situations. So it's a lot bigger than we will realize. And this is the thing: the more devices get connected, the deeper and bigger the 80% will get, because not everything could ever be indexed. Because right now we have more devices than actual humans on Earth. So I want you guys to look at this picture, and it says cyber attack really big, and I want you guys to write down a word that speaks to you. And I want you to write this down and save it for later. You guys have a couple of seconds.
You can put it in the chat box if you want.
So as we can see, we have different terms from computer, warfare, terrorism, pornography, offensive, target, crimes. And the thing is that it's all interconnected. And these are some of the main words they'll use in the media and known reports as such. Now, the cyber risk. Who might attack and what are they after? Well, you have different types of attackers and threats and things that happen, but these are the most common ones. The classic cyber criminal, or basically a cyber gang, they're mostly in Europe, European-based, there's even US-based, Chinese-based, you name it. If there's a group of computers and a group of people that need money, some people are ethically inclined to steal from devices, either than, getting up a gun and getting all dirty with that, because they can hide behind their digital fingerprints if they know what they're doing. And this is just a classic cyber criminal. Then we have the advanced persistent threats, detected by, so not directed by nation states, but mostly it's basically an advanced attack known as APTs. If you guys ever hear the news, we found an APT2, APT this and that and blah, blah. They usually use that term in CNN and news stations like that. You can basically what it really means is an advanced threat, and it goes from the point that it can attack parts of your computer that no matter what you do to your hard drive, say the main board, that motherboard, will be always infected, so it will always reinfect that hard drive over and over again. So it's an advanced and persistent, and it really requires you to go in there and do the correct forensics and things like that, and have the right tools, which we gracefully have Rob for that, and he supplies us with specialty tools on a case-by-case basis. And then we also have hacktivists. So these are usually people with an idealistic point of view that want to, show out a message. It's like digital graffiti, if you want to say it, in most cases. In other cases, they will say they'll attack misconfigured machines and then just say, oh, we found 21 gigs of information, and they try to disrupt the internet and the clients of those corporations that don't believe in. So now, how many of you guys have a supply chain on your business?
Supply chain.
Let me see.
What I mean,
yeah, I think explain that a little bit, Andre. I think it could apply a little bit to both Kimberly's business and Sandra's business as well.
Well, what I mean by your supply chain, I mean basically, say you are ordering Alibaba, you order, say we're going to build, let's say, bracelets. and you order the beads from one individual, then you order the strings from another individual, and then you have that bead manufacturer say it's done in California, but all the parts get to California. Then from there, from that supply chain, say, so that box goes to Charles in Wisconsin, who's going to do the marketing and all the things, and then it goes to Steven, who does the website. So through your supply chain, if you have a big enough, it could be targeted attack, it could be somebody that doesn't
Sure.
want you to succeed.
So
Like
Kimberly, I hope you don't mind me saying it, so we can be really personalized. Kimberly is in the real estate business, and Kimberly, you are unmuted, but ladies, you are unmuted, so you can speak at any time. And Sandra, what would you say your business is all about in a couple of words?
Empowering people, so basically training. And on the side,
We cannot hear you very well.
I can hear.
It's a phone connection. I don't know what happened to the webinar connection. It didn't work. So in the future, like I'm planning to develop, right now it's basic regular psychiatric services. But in the future, it will be empowering services. And on the side, I was sharing that with Matthew, we are building like real estate and that kind of investment. And
Right.
he has his gaming work.
Okay, so yes, Matthew, Sandra's husband, is in gaming. So Sandra, can you see the PowerPoint? Can you see the presentation?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Kimberly, is there anything you want to add about your business so we can give it more specific examples?
Well, yes. What we're going to be doing is rehabbing homes for not only veterans but for people in different classifications, low-end income or senior housing. So we've got a variety of different kinds of people that we're going to be purchasing houses, fixing them up, and some that we may be even giving to people once we start getting some funds coming in, and others we may be selling them at a lower price.
It's very progressive.
Very awesome. Well, I'm going to use the example of the teaching because it just involved a lot of people and interacting with a lot of individuals. Let's say you have this presentation and you go to this presentation, then your presenter's computer is on the same Wi-Fi network as the rest of the presenters there, but one of those clients of yours is not really there to learn anything but to target your business, and he's going to use the weakest link he can find. In this case, your presenter, and he's going to mimic the Wi-Fi, take care of the communications, take care of that computer, go back to his hotel room at the end of the day, and from there he starts his movement, as you can say it. So let me just explain here. So I have an example of a bank. So as you know, a bank has rich information and has everything. And let's say, same thing with a presenter. We find him on LinkedIn. They say, okay, how about Mr. Smith? He's going to be teaching about this. He likes that. But in this case, in the bank, let's say he's the CFO. So your attacker will send them an email. From this email, once the email has been initiated and he has a plan, because it doesn't matter what you do, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. Once this thing has been clicked on, it's called a phishing scam, where basically they just send either massive emails or they send specific emails to cater to this individual, because they already know the things they like. They know by looking by their stuff in, say, Facebook and Twitter, they have created a profile on their target, and from there they can increase those attacks to an on-site attack, to the point that they could fake that connection from your whole business. Say you wanted to basically order a new server to improve your services, And you're actually never actually on Amazon. You're always connected through the attacker. And not only does the attacker deliver the device to you, he will infect that device that will automatically be like a digital grenade and literally just infect every device around it. There's many other cases that has happened. Also, you have external cyber threats that can impact your business other than that. So have you guys heard of the point of sale attacks that happen at Target, the POS?
Yes.
Yes.
So basically, they were able to. The way this attack happened was that all the computers were interconnected, and they were able. The company that had basically the contract to handle all the ventilation systems within Target had the ability to connect with themselves to the point of sale machines, and they were all inter-network. Nobody ever checked, nobody ever firewalled or isolated these networks. They were all under one network. So this was their weakest link in Target. Same thing happened with Lowe's. Same thing happened with Home Depot, and a lot of these things happen with a lot of businesses, but they just really don't disclose it. You also have your web app attacks, which you might think a web app just applies to those applications that you use on the web, but actually there are applications that are native. These native applications also use web links as well, and there's also hybrid ones that are basically, they just have like a little, they have an installer and they have everything, but they actually are fully web-based on the background. You have insider misuse, disgruntled employees, say visitors that come in with their devices, which we will explain later on BYOD and situations like that. Also, physical theft law, miscellaneous errors. This is misconfigurations of your system, so you have to be very careful who you hire to configure these systems, as we will see later on in the presentation. We have crimeware. These are basically ads you see from gangs and stuff like that. Card skimmers are literally devices that will copy the magnetic signature on your card. Even if you have a chip RFID, you can right now copy it from 3 feet away, and then they could use that to sell information or use the credit card somewhere else. Cyber espionage and corporate espionage is actually a really huge thing today. So be careful who you speak to about your business and competitors. Even, probably not your friend who you're telling the business to, but probably a friend of a friend. So be careful who you share information with, because that can make you a target. And make sure whoever you talk about your business, you truly trust. And everything else is just, miscellaneous 6%. It's just an array of the unknown.
Ladies, feel free to interrupt at any time if you're going too fast or if something doesn't make sense. There's a little bit of echo. Andre, can you use your headset, please?
Yes. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, just speak louder, please.
My friend Elena, my friends, I know her.
Is it?
She's got a webinar.
I don't know what you're listening to. I don't know what's going on.
She's my friend. She's a friend of mine.
Who's your friend?
Okay.
No,
Your friend.
she.
Can we mute the?
Yeah. Sorry, Kimberly, do you have any question?
I wanted to ask a question about my emails.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll get a scam email or a spam email, and I try to delete it, and it won't delete. It says you are now unsubscribed, but yet they know certain information about me, and maybe it will be unsubscribed for a short time, but then it'll come back under a different name.
Well, the thing is that they do full the phishing scam operations, and they will have that there, for a very long time. The best way you can do is, if we can identify if your attackers come from a specific country, we just sometimes for clients we just block the whole country, and they don't never have a problem again. So are you using a Mac, Windows, PC, or Linux?
It's a Mac.
Well, just to let you know, to popular belief, like people say Macs can't get viruses. That is not true. I recommend you downloading a software called ClamX, ClamVax. So I will, yeah.
Can you
Is it
put in
okay
the
if we?
here? I'll put in the chat box. That's what I have, Kimberly, too.
Okay, I didn't know how to spell that.
Yeah. Do you?
I put in the chat box.
You're right. They do know a lot about you because just from being on the internet, they tend to send those phishing emails, and then once you try to unsubscribe, they go away, but it comes back under another name or someone else, but the same product or the same thing. And I can never get rid of them. And I get like 200 to 300 of this spam mails a day. No matter how hard I try to keep unsubscribing, it just keeps coming back.
If you like, we can definitely help you with that. It's just gonna take us to assess it and see where the actual situation is. But yeah, we can definitely take care of that for you.
Thank you, Elena. Yeah, I see that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Because Elena also had a very similar situation where to the point that once we cleaned her computer, she received a phone call from a guy.
Wow.
Telling her she had problems with her computer. So it was right, Elena? Do you want to share a little bit?
Yes. So basically, if this can happen to anybody. If you are online, it can happen. It can happen to anybody. That's why I didn't think this could happen to me, like I said in the email, but it did, and I'm realizing from everything Andre taught me that everybody who's online is vulnerable. That's why I said you have to do this presentation for my clients, because I don't want them to go through what I went through. So whomever tried to attack me for whatever reason, there may not be real reasons, they attack whomever they can. If you leave quote unquote a window open, then you become a low hanging fruit, easy for them to see whatever they can steal, money, contacts, etc., etc. And so they targeted me in 4 ways. But because luckily, thanks to this gentleman, Andre and Sawyer, I caught it on time. Every new attempt they would do, we were able to kill. So first they tried with email, same thing as you're going through, Kimberly. And I talked about it to my coach, and my coach said, who's an IT expert, and he said, "Oh, you're overreacting. It's nothing." So okay, so I waited 2 weeks. Then they targeted me on my website. So now I get an email from Google itself saying you've been blacklisted. So second attempt. So then I got serious. So I called up Andre. I said, okay, we have to do something. So Andre fixed my website, fixed my email, but now they could still get me. So they tried to get me through my computer. We fixed that. I also have a Mac. And then, since they couldn't get me that way, now the last way they could get me was through my phone. That's why they tried calling me, and I know better, but this could happen. They were quite pushy, saying, okay, we can see there is something wrong with your computer. We're here to help you. Please download this thing. And but I could tell the call was from China, and I don't at the moment. I don't do business in China. I have, but not at the moment. So that was suspicious, and luckily, with Andre's help, I was able to stop everything. But they will target you in any possible device they can, if they want to. So how did I do, Andre?
You did great. All right, so now let's talk how do they basically assess their attack. So this is a simple bubble chart that will identify a successful attack from your attacker. So first is system susceptibility. You have the values to attacker and the vulnerabilities of that system. Two, you have threat accessibility, the attack surface, logical and physical reachability, like we explained earlier. If the attacker can't get there through the internet, through emails, or anything like that, he will try to physically attack your system, like we will see in later this presentation. And three is the threat capability, the tools, techniques, and resources needed to successfully gain this attack. These are the things we do and the steps we go through as the attacker would to not only identify who the attacker is, but to also prosecute this attacker as well. So here's I want you guys to go to this link right here. If you guys can type it in your web browser really quick. And let me know when you guys are in there so you guys can see the live attacks. Hello? Are you
Yes.
guys here?
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing it?
Okay, yeah, I'll put it in the chat box for everybody.
Okay. I just didn't want to take it off full screen, but I just want to keep it going.
Click on it, ladies, and you'll see these are actually going on right now, real time. So as you see, looks like there is a lot targeted to the US and to Northern Europe from Asia. But
this is all, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a little video which I just got for those who couldn't see the link. But if you guys are seeing it live, this is happening right now as we speak. This is a 24/7 digital warfare. People talk about World War III being with nukes. No, World War III is being fought behind a keyboard. And these are sponsored by nations, attackers, gangs, and this is basically, let's say, the weather of the internet. Sometimes say the internet's really slow in your town or whatever, and then you'll see it when all those like beings are coming from China or Australia and hitting the United States or hitting London or wherever you guys are located. So I'm gonna go to the next slide.
Yeah, so that we have Kimberly from Northern California and Sandra, from Missouri. Why is there an echo, Andre?
Do not know. There could be somebody with speakers on.
Ladies, are you using a headset?
I don't have one.
Okay.
I'm on a cell phone.
Okay. So, it's okay. But so now what do we do now? So, I mean, now you guys are like wondering, okay, so what am I gonna do? What I'm trying to say is don't be scared. The first step to enlightenment is acknowledgement. So now you guys are gonna be proactively and defensively not falling for these things anymore. So, is your business a reactive versus a proactive business? Which one are you? So a proactive business basically means that you are proactively, preventing things to happen in your business. A reactive one just is reacting to problems. It doesn't really have a plan down, and when anything happens, it just costs a lot of money to fix because there was never a plan in place. Like we said earlier, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. So now I'm going to pass it around to Sawyer so he can do his part in the Internet of Things.
And before we do that, ladies, how are we doing?
Good.
Good.
Very good.
We don't want to scare you. We want to empower you, okay?
Okay.
So let's play emotional
Okay.
music to empower you.
Well, now that we're all feeling empowered, let me,
Yeah, that was from a genius, Mozart. All right,
let me
from one
first
genius
say,
to another genius. Sawyer, take it away.
well, before we show you some solutions to these problems, let me show you first how this problem is going to get larger and how it's going to get larger and it's going to get better, but things are also going to get better for you with the idea of the Internet of Things. So what the Internet of Things refers to is it refers to all devices connecting to the Internet. These devices could be things quite conventional, like your phone or your computer, or a server that a website is hosted on, or they could be kind of unconventional. A lot of these new things that we're seeing. It could be your refrigerator that's hooked up to the internet. It could be your thermostat that allows you to change the temperature of your home from your phone or whatever. Uh, it could also be, your children's toys. Or an example later that I'm going to show you, something as small as just a little button. But let me give you a scope of how the Internet of Things is going to grow in the next 5 years. Oh, well, but before I do that, here's the example. So an Internet of Things object could be as small as a small button. These are something that Amazon just came out with recently, and it's just a button that when you press it, it orders that item to your house. So if you're running out of whatever product, you just hit the button, and you'll have some more of it coming your way. But this is a small internet-connected device. So here's just some projections of of how many devices will be connected to the internet. And as you can see at the top here, in 2020, we're going to be looking at about 7.6 billion people, but 50 billion devices. And that's 6.5 devices per person, just about. And that doesn't mean that everyone has 6 devices. It means that there's going to be a lot of devices out there that are connected to the internet, but really don't deal with people, at least not directly. So these could be things like I mentioned before, like your refrigerator, it could be a stoplight, it could be your child's Barbie doll, whatever. But as we can see, there's going to be a lot more devices out there. And like with the POS attack that we mentioned before, where they came in through the ventilation system computers, it provides attackers with a much wider array of things to attack and things to get under their control, and then attack other computers where that has information that they want. So now let's talk about another concept called bring your own device. So just like our last kind of word board, I want you just to see something on here that catches your eye and just write it down or write it in chat. So bring your own device is the concept of your employees having, a set of tools that they've either purchased on their own or that you've bought for them for the sake of business, but they also use with their own personal activities. So, you may have your work computer, but you also use that computer to browse Facebook or do Christmas shopping or what have you. And this is really excellent for your employees in the workplace because they have more tools to get work done, and they have more tools to create the products and do the services that your businesses provide. But the problem with this is that when they're taking these devices with them everywhere and they're using them with their own personal activities, it can lead to some problems. So here's just an example of a small neighborhood your employee might live in. They have their home, they have the park, and they have the cafe. All three of this have wireless stations that they like to visit when they go to these places. And each one of these wireless locations, they connect to a new router, and it's an entirely different environment that they connect to digitally. So let's say that your employee goes to a cafe, and he takes his phone, which has his work email and sensitive information on it, and he connects to what he thinks is the cafe's Wi-Fi, but is in fact a attacker's Wi-Fi access point, posing as the cafe's router.
Can it be also like a friend or a spouse, significant other?
Oh yes, this could be with any wireless. An attacker could pretend to be that wireless access point, that router, and have you connect to them instead of connecting to the real thing. Now, this is a problem because all information that you send through that router to the web at large is intercepted by this attacker, and they can see whatever passes through it. This is a really big problem if you're trying to order things online, or if you're sending confidential emails, or just really anything you wouldn't want someone to know. This is especially a problem for your business if you're sending emails that have sensitive information on IT or whatever business move you're thinking of making that week. So now let's talk about some solutions to this. Solution number one is you can have remote access to your device so that if it ever is, let's say your employee leaves it on a train or leaves it out in public and then it's taken, an attacker could, once they have that device, they could see what is on the hard drive or what's in they could see what's on the hard drive, and then they could have and they could see what's on the hard drive, and they can have access to all the emails or what other kind of work information is on there. But there are tools out there that notifies you when your device is missing or when it's in a location it's not supposed to be, and from these services you would be able to remotely wipe your device. So this computer that has sensitive information on it that's been taken is no longer a problem because it's been wiped clean.
And also, you have the ability to retrieve this device. So let's say you lost a computer or a laptop. We have clients where we supply that service. We can set it up where we can actually track down that computer to its location. It doesn't matter if they wiped the hard drive, doesn't matter what they do to that computer, we will find them and we'll prosecute them and even retrieve the device.
The next solution we're going to show you is kind of the coffee shop problem solution. So you may be worrying that next time you go to a coffee shop, oh no, what if someone's seeing all the emails and all the traffic that of all the places I'm going on the internet? Well, the simple solution to this is a VPN, which stands for Virtual Privatized Network. So here is just kind of a nice graphic that neatly explains what a VPN is. So this shows the theoretical coffee shop, this black square, and inside are two laptops, our laptop and the other laptop. Our laptop is using a VPN and the other is not. So the second laptop, the other laptop, which isn't using a VPN, goes to the public Wi-Fi, and then it goes to the website directly through the internet. Now, from your laptop to the website, all that traffic is unencrypted. So this website could also be your email server or what have you. So if this is instead the attacker's Wi-Fi access point, they would be gathering all that data. Now, our VPN, so what a VPN would do is if you had one installed on your laptop, instead of going directly to Virtual Privatized Network. And what that does for your computer is it encrypts all traffic from your laptop to some tunnel endpoint, so that if an attacker is at anywhere along that path, they would not be able to see what kind of information is going through. All they would see would be a random string of numbers and letters which they wouldn't be able to decipher. Or if they could decipher it, it would take them 100 years with a very powerful computer.
I do have it, ladies, and it's very inexpensive, very, very inexpensive, and even just this alone can give you a very strong layer of protection.
Mm-hmm.
Another benefit of a VPN is that a VPN can also mask the location that you physically are at. So right now on a website, whenever someone visits a website, the website knows what physical location the person is accessing them from. So right now, so that's kind of where the idea of tracking someone's IP comes from, and with a VPN, it makes it a lot harder to do. So now I'm going to hand it off to Andre again to talk about Rubber Ducky, another problem.
So, how many of you have found a USB before?
Yeah.
Yes.
and you don't own it and you don't know what it is, but you have to be very careful with that. This is a device that's only like $20. It's called a USB rubber ducky, and literally what it does is it acts like a head device, which means human interactive device, like a keyboard, especially a keyboard, and then you can like literally input commands into that. So as you're going to see in this presentation, in under 40 seconds, this happens with iPhones, iPads, Droids, Windows phones, anything that can take a keyboard. This device will act as one, but the thing is, it's not a human typing it. I apologize, this is not the slide. And let me go back. There it is. Let me play it. And as you will see, in under 40 seconds, this device is going to be attacked. And as you can see, it acts just like a keyboard, putting in shortcuts. So imagine you leaving your phone at the bar for a little bit, or trusting your spouse that's going to leave and you're going to go out. All I need is to buy this device, plug it in your phone, and this is another attack vector that you may want to keep in mind.
So you're saying it's that easy for an attacker to attack us?
If you leave your devices unprotected and not following, if you
Unattended.
don't follow the right steps, yes. It's also, creating a plan and having the right architecture in place. So all these things can be prevented. Like, just see security as an onion. The more layers you put on it, the harder it is to get to the core. And here's another USB device which acts like an EMP, an electric magnetic pulse. Literally what this does, imagine you have a competitor and he throws these there, or he walks into your building and he literally destroys the server that has all your data, all your information, all your business, and you have no backup, and he knows about this. So here we go, and here's the device. Say you found it or somebody plugged it in, and it's fried. So these are just some of the things that a lot of people don't know about, and we like to keep everybody informed just to be careful.
And of course, we wouldn't place an unknown USB on our devices, but if we think it's a safe one, what I have done is just run an antivirus, but I don't know if that's enough.
Well, this is the thing about viruses, is that literally antiviruses is there something called heuristics, which is behavioral based, and those are not available to the public unless you have a specific packages with companies. And literally what they have is like a database, and they run against that database, and you can actually take known malware and you can re-encrypt that malware, and you won't be able to identify it in your antivirus. And you have to be very careful with that, because I would not plug, unless you have like we call a throwaway computer, or like a Chromebook or something like that, where every time you reboot it, it's a brand new system. I will not plug it in there, because just like the rubber ducky, I can show you some attacks where they literally change the brain of the USB. So the actual malware is in the chips of the USB, not into the storage capability.
And malware scanners, they don't look at the brain or the firmware of the USB. They only look at the file. They would only look at the files within it. So kind of a solution to this bad USB problem, though, is you could use SD cards. And currently, none of these things that these USBs can do can be implemented on SD cards.
Well, you can if you can lock it. Did that answer your question? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great question, Sandra.
So how many of you guys have seen this window before?
The what?
How many of you guys have seen this window before?
No.
that window.
Two-step verification with Google.
Do either of you use Gmail as your primary email?
Yeah, and I have this already set up.
Oh, excellent.
That's great. So for those of you that don't have it set up, we would highly recommend it. Just because if there was if they were to have your email right now and they were to try to log in, it's gonna send you a notification like, hey, here's your code, here's your code. But if you're not doing it, they know your password. So it's a good sign to change your password. And it's also good practice to change your password at least once a month as a minimum. And some businesses, like at least us, like we have the YubiKey, where we have a brand new key every time we log into our systems, which we'll explain later. And this is basically explaining the two-step verification process. This is a little YubiKey here. And I'm going to show you guys we have a slide with all the links, and we'll go through a little demo so you guys can.
It's just so hard to remember all the passwords.
But we have a solution for that.
Okay.
We do. So I just want to show you guys another attack vector, which is, very sci-fi-ish, of course. And as we know, everything has a vibration and a frequency. So your body, the universe, your devices, CPUs can be read for miles, your calls can be intersected, your emails can be hacked, and you're like, oh my God, but all it really takes is the motivation from an attacker. So don't get scared. It's not like, yeah, it can be done, but it just needs to be from somebody who's either just looking for hanging fruit. They don't even know. They just know your computer is open, as we will see soon in our demo. And or these are people actually targeting you. So that's just when
How
it
can
gets serious.
our phone calls can be intercepted unless they're nearby with, like FBI people trying to listen to your conversation, I guess. But
Actually, I can show you something, and it can really get really scary, but I'll show you in the demo. All you need something called a HackerF, or you can get it's called an SDR. It's a $10 dongle, and you literally, all you have to do is be near the cell tower, and as long as you're near the cell tower where your phone communicates, will actually communicate with 3 cell towers where it triangulates. This is how 911 will find you and things like that by triangulating your phone or obviously getting the GPS data. You can actually do it from 20 miles away. Like
is there a way to block that? Like, for example, there's different levels of confidentiality. Like, even Elena with her coaching clients, I'm sure she wants confidentiality, and I do for sure with my patients.
Yeah, I mean, there's something called a black phone that you can get. I can show you a link. It literally has a registered towers, and it will show you if it's a rogue, what they call a rogue tower, and it will start blinking like a Christmas tree. And so, hey, yeah, you're connected to an unknown tower, or this is not a tower. I mean, it's like everything nowadays. We live in a corporatocracy, so it just takes a little bit of money, but you can get there with all the devices that you're.
And how secure is Skype? Skype calls, are they secure?
It depends. Remember, everything will be secure if your other party is also protected, because you can be super protected, like has happened in other cases, but the person you're communicating with is not. So they can basically talking about the weakest link. The weakest link could be the person on the other side. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, because what I'm not sure is like, working at the university, we had very secure, teleconference. Like right now we have telepsychiatry or telemedicine, but I've seen some people even going out using just Skype, which I don't know how secure it can be for private conversations, but it seems to be the standard thing nowadays for some people.
Yeah, I mean, Skype, it's a good tool, as known to everybody. I would recommend definitely. I don't know if this is something you want to do with your clients, but if you're interested, we can definitely look into that and find you some good options and actually do their research and be like, yeah, if you want to do this for this. I know if you're psychiatrist, are you HIPAA regulated?
At the university, yes, of course. Anything.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, anything with clients or patients is HIPAA regulated. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be very careful with all these regulations because depending on the type of business, the type of information you're storing, you fall under some regulations, and they have changed the laws where if that data gets breached, you're responsible for the damages.
Mhm.
So it's a very scary world right now. But yeah, if you like to, we can talk about it, and I can give you more detailed information.
It's just I was wondering more for from the perspective that I've seen some people feel confident just with Skype, but what I'm used to is more secure networks. But it looks like for some people they feel confident enough that it's not necessary to go the extensive lengths or more secure networks.
I mean, it all comes down to, it all takes is one. It's like, one bad apple spoils all the other apples. The technology
Mhm.
world, that stands for like one bad computer infects all the other computers. It's not gonna, I mean, you can have the most expensive machine and, I mean, program in the world, but if your staff is not trained to do standard protocols of not opening emails, not visiting, say, a social media, their personal stuff on work computers, say, bring in devices from their home into the network, into your private, I mean, that's just all variables that you throw in a bag, and it only takes one type of situation. And at least in the universities, you have staff that handle that on a day-by-day basis,
Mhm.
and their cleaning systems and their monitoring systems, and they have partnerships with, if they're doing research, if you're, they're probably military connected, and all those systems are sometimes even protected by government entities, but without the university even knowing they got saved from a major attack.
Kimberly,
Yes.
you have worked with the military. Do you have any insight?
All that's very familiar because everything we did was on secure networks or actually ComSec. It was sent over highly secure systems. So we were very protected in the military, and we had an IT staff that took care of all of our problems daily, like he said.
Yeah, and the thing is with the military is that, like, say, I know you're working at the Pentagon, say when you're top secret, not that I know anything other than stories. Say when you work in a top secret environment, there's
Yeah,
different levels of top secret, and then there's different teams there'll be Cyber Command Air Force, Cyber Command Navy,
right.
and you have Marines, and you have different operations, and basically they all work together but individually,
Hmm.
and even between commands, they're very iffy about sharing information with other commands.
Right.
Um, just because they work in different projects and they have different scopes, different targets, and it's just you don't know who's who when you're playing spycraft, I guess.
And there's so many different acronyms, and they all don't jive with each of the branches of the military. So sometimes it is difficult to communicate.
Yeah, it's pretty funny when they get like a what do they call, like a technical translator.
Right.
Yeah, we have the teddy bear going down the road. What does that mean? Oh yeah, he's just telling that he's pinging the port.
Yeah.
Really awesome. So this is a chart here, just to move on, um, of all the everything has a vibration, and we go from radio to gamma rays that go through us every day. And this is something that can read your CPU vibration and sound by doing acoustic cryptanalysis parabolic microphone setup. And you're like, what? So literally, this thing is reading how your CPU vibrates and the frequency it emits at the same time. And then it's reconstructing that data. So then again, it's a very scary world out there. This is very James Bondish, but it's true. You can do it. And it all goes back to, having it's where's your ethical compass? Are you a good person, or are you a criminal? Are you like, there's this terminology that they say hackers are bad, and the cybersecurity world we got hackers and crackers. Crackers are criminals. Hackers are problem solvers. And let me do the demo really quick before we do anything else. Have any of you guys heard the term Google hacking by any chance?
No.
Tell me, sister.
I did.
When?
Excuse me?
I think it's I haven't. Why don't you explain it?
I just wanna I just wanna show how easy it is to do it really quick. I know. So you just Google hacking. Here's the database, which we did earlier today, and this is basically a way of how you query Google, and when you do your searches. So it basically can search for vulnerable systems, and I just want to do the same demonstration once more. So I'm going to show you guys. Look at all this stuff. Various online devices. And this is not me. And all we need is like a hacker theme song in the back. And as you can see here, these are all different cameras. So let's see what's live on the internet, and see how we can do this. And you will input this on a Google search, and you can Google more about it if you guys are interested. We can do a little class on it. And as you can see here, we just already found a system. We got all these multiple systems, and all these are live cameras, and all it took me was a search on Google. And let's see, we have somebody's house.
I think it's a hotel.
Looks like a hotel too. And this is what I'm trying to say, is that all these devices get connected on the internet, and
So this is why you should have your webcams like covered, right?
yeah, I don't trust anything that blinks. So yes, I should definitely so here you see, like, imagine if this was your business right now, and it's just online because it was misconfigured. It's like, oh yeah, I can buy that. I can just build it up, and I can just put it up there. And this is the thing: if an attacker is, he's savvy enough, he could do search tools, and you do, let's say, the past week, and this is the thing that makes it really scary, is that all these things are online, and every day there's more and more and more. And let me do this here. Let me close that. You guys like to see anything else?
Yes.
Okay, so here, let's do. Alright, so these are printers online, and these are just all hanging fruit. All it takes is a Google search. Person comes and does an anonymous Google search, and there we go. Once you see this number right here, it literally tells you the device. If we want to see where the device is located, we can geo-IP this device. Give it a second to load. Taking its time. Can everybody see?
Yes.
Right. Here we go. And we're going to geolocate that device and see where are we located. This is kind of the funny thing about geolocating things, that the attackers will also see, oh look, this is in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Probably MIT, let's say. And this is where it gets really scary, is like you can keep on investigating, and then you can, like, a friend in the military, but this is very familiar with this acronym. You build your intelligence, and from that you have your information gathering process, and then just the internet just makes it so easy for that to happen that it's just scary. So I just want to also show you guys, we have a slide here with all the links. Should be right here. So I am going to, yeah, let me just present it. I just want to show you guys also how hacking has evolved to basically point and click. And
this is the Hack 5.
This is the Hack 5 playlist website. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna do this.
I don't think we have the Armitage thing on there.
So this is a website that his name is Raphael Mudge. He's a friend. He created this tool called Armitage, and it's basically, I apologize, it's basically point and click hacking. So it really doesn't take any skill or anything. It just takes them basically they want to do it. That's the motivation of them. So they want to just, I want to do this. I really want this information, or let's do this right here, really quick.
So your friend does it for a good purpose, right?
Well, yeah, he works for the Air Force. He's a retired Air Force. Yeah, there we go. It's basically a way to show. The thing is, when you're doing operations and stuff like that, and you have to train, say a squad of like cyber soldiers, it's easier once you have an infrastructure in place where you have a team that handles certain things. This is great for that. Also, if the individuals don't know how to use this tool and they're using it, it just leaves stuff everywhere, so you can literally trace them back.
Crumble.
So I'm gonna play this right here, which we played earlier. And I just want you guys to just see how easy it is. So literally right now, he's doing a browser attack, and he's gonna attack a specific system just by attacking the web browser, of course. It all is gonna start with redirecting all the data, and there we go. He has his first target. That's what the letters in red mean. This is what I'm saying. Like, it comes to a point that it's so easy for anyone to just Google it and do it. So now, like, we're in need of more forensics individuals, people that can actually go in there and investigate and know what they're doing. Because the people that don't know what they're doing, they just leave digital fingerprints everywhere. And you can see their computer, when it did it, when it didn't do it. You also can, say if you have an employee trying to frame another employee, which has happened a lot in the past, you can see how they connected into their system and then try to hack the whole network and try to blame it on them, when it was actually them who were conducting the attacks all this time. And you can see this creating a pivot. So after he compromised that machine, he's going to pivot from that machine to all these other machines. And it takes a point and click, so it doesn't really take any skill or anything other than that. And that's just, it's just a different world to what it used to be.
It's like the TV, NCIS, and all that they're saying the data is coming from multiple machines.
Exactly, but this is the real world. You know what I mean?
Where do they find these people? Let's say, it's not me, but let's say I want to get somebody fired and I don't know how to do this, although I could learn. But where would I even find somebody who does it for me for cheap?
Well, I mean, you can do it through, like, go to the dark web, or just simply you can hire gangs to do it, or just basically install malware on their computer, go to a chat and it'll tell you what to do.
Go to where?
You can just go, like, say, to like a chat or something, like the dark web, and find a hacker that way. You can even see, I just want to show you can see screenshots really quick, what's happening on the system. This is all in a simulated environment, of course. The situation with this is that it all takes it's just the motivation of your attacker. I mean, it could be a disgruntled employee that you didn't give a raise, uh, or you ate his lunch, and there it starts, you know. And it's just really sad when it comes to that. And like, here's another. No, we're not gonna do that one. I apologize. So here's Cobalt Strike. This is a more high-end tool. And here I'm going to show you guys how they basically connect machines. And these are basically two attackers working in combination as a team. This is something more what the military would use, and how they're basically mapping out the whole network from point A to point Z and seeing, all right, so what needs to be done, how it is working. And the situation is, I know you guys, we will see all these movies, and the sad thing is that, you know, a lot of people get inspired by them who are not with the right mindset. Anybody have any questions?
Wow. Pretty scary.
The biggest thing, you know, because this was very interesting, but it was a little bit kind of abstract, making it more concrete, is, Elena, you could share with us exactly, you know, or to the extent that you can, what happened, and more importantly, how did you solve your problem?
Sure. So in my case, like I was mentioning earlier, I mean, we still don't know exactly, and I don't know if we ever will know why I got hacked. It could simply be that so my website is in WordPress, and it could have been like one plugin not updated on time that leaves an open window for any hacker to hack, to see what they can get. Remember, these people do it; they're paid to just rob people on the internet from whatever they can get, and then maybe get a list, sell it to others. It could be that, you know, in the past I've done some work with Donald Trump. Right now he is all over the news. Some people hate him, some people love him. So the haters, you know, may have scanned the internet to see who's connected with him. And I'm not saying I'm voting for him or anything like that. I just, in the past, I've done some work with him. And maybe, you know, somebody just decided, okay, let's give a hard time to anybody even remotely affiliated with him. And you know, it could have been that, because it's definitely in my biography. So, you know, luckily I caught it on time. That's why we're having this presentation. I caught it on time. I could see that something was off. And with my email, and then, you know, I got an email from Google saying my website got blacklisted. So I caught it on time, and I was able to implement and apply all these little tricks that Andre is explaining. I know it sounds like a lot because it's late at night, and you know, and it's technical. For me, it's dry, but it's easy and cheap to implement, and you're protected for a lifetime. And most I would say 99% of the population, if not more, doesn't know this stuff. I was never told, and I work with supposedly some of the best web developers in the world, some of the best programmers in the world, and they never told me I had to have a VPN, a Yubico key, change the password of my router. Time Warner or any internet provider that comes in and provides you with internet, they don't even give you a password. It's admin, and that they just install a router without telling you that you need to do these things. So unless you have attended a presentation like this, or you have a big security team that works for you, you'll never necessarily know this. And so does that answer your question?
Yes, and more from the perspective of like a website, like you were saying that maybe your website might have been on WordPress. You said I'm not sure. So more for the future. I don't have a website yet, but I was thinking more of the risk of like if you have clients and they put their information there and then your
All the
lease
information
is
on the good thing about Elena is that all their information is inside iContact when it comes to her clients. So they didn't do anything other than reroute some stuff in it, but everything it wasn't online that much. We took care of everything. So everything is secure and up to date now on her website, and all the
so
payments.
there are ways to separate the
Yes.
information that you have, and then I was wondering if there's more secure website platforms than others, or what did you suggest regarding that?
What I'm really gonna say, I mean, like a good friend of mine told me once, is not the arrow but the Indian. It's it's gonna depend on your team, who is setting this up, who what's the architecture in place. Like when I consult my clients, we make sure we give them A to Z architecture where here's the blueprint. This is what you have to do. Let us know if you like to implement, and then the next step will be implementation.
But I think a big thing that we did for Elena was we took her from being HTTP to HTTPS, which just it makes your website more secure in that it provides another layer of encryption between the website and the user.
Yeah, and also by having that, do you guys have any websites by any chance?
No, I don't right now, but I will have one as soon as we get set up.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah, like the main thing is also is like you want to be careful who you bring on board and who's your team, and just ask them the questions. Or if you need somebody like us to go and ask the right questions before you hire this individual, we also do that as well to help out and be like just to make sure this person knows what they're doing, and hey, this is what we need, and this what needs to happen. Can you make this happen, and how long, for how much? Because some web developers, believe me, I've gone through a lot of them because I build teams on a constant basis. You hire them, you give them a deposit, you never hear from them again. So I don't know if any of you guys have that experience before with web developers.
Yeah,
I
actually,
know, but it's like you're opening our eyes, and it's like thinking that what happens in the movies can happen to anyone. Like, somebody in the movies, they develop something and then they leave a window or whatever that is that they can come back through the back door to open your, it's kind of having a key. I guess they have a password or something that they can come back.
Basically,
that's in the movies.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you see the movies and it's a lot longer and it's a lot more tedious process, but at the end of the day, that's the goal, is to basically pick that lock. And it's like everything, they're persistent, they have time on their favor because they're not on any deadline that I know of. And, they're not, it's not like they don't have anything else to do. I mean, they found an easy way to make money. They found an easy way to attack everything around them because the corporate that we live in allows that too. Because you're buying new phones every year, right?
Yes.
So imagine in 10 years you've gone through 10 phones, and that phone could either get redistributed into society, or it can be in your drawer, or you give it to somebody else. And that's the thing, like we have so many connected devices, but the thing is that once you have what I've found and we have found through research is just by having simple things like two-step authentication and having the YubiKey and things like that, well, it just basically doesn't make you hanging fruit. And there's so many people out there that are unprotected right now. They're not going to waste your time with you unless you're a targeted attack. unless they're really after you. And that's where we come in and be like, look, okay, let's see what happened. Send us the hard drive, or we'll fly there and copy the hard drive and make that happen.
So this was really informative, and thank you so much for putting this together, Elena.
You're
Yes.
welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. My
He
pleasure.
was very persistent.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So it can really, it's important for everybody to shield themselves. We're all online. We're going to do more and more transactions online. So you want to be shielded from the start. And honestly, Andre and Sawyer and Rob are the best people I know of, the most knowledgeable, the most honestly priced. He has agreed to do 1 hour complimentary assessment for my clients. So that's that. He doesn't do that for anybody. He usually just works with really high profile clients. And just going back to me really quick, I've used one of the best web developers. It could have been so many things. It could be even been the registrar that I use, GoDaddy. GoDaddy never doesn't really bother where I buy my domains or URLs. That does never bother to tell me that I had to have certain things in place. So sort of like, nobody takes responsibility, but you have to take responsibility for your stuff.
Other than site lock and take away all the protections.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So Elena, would we contact Sawyer, or do we contact you and you get a hold of them when we're ready to do this?
You can do both. It's probably easier if you contact the gentleman directly. So and remind them that you are my good friend and client, and to take excellent care of you. So and they will. Here we go. And let me type them in the box here for you. And if you forget, I can always send it to you. But here it is.
Okay.
And this is going to be recorded.
Very good. I had no idea we were that exposed.
Yeah, especially from you, Kimberly, since you come from the military world, where everything was probably done for you, but now it's not, right? So you have to do it. I thought that this would be very important for you to know from the get-go. Like now that you're starting your new business, you're in charge of completely. So here we go. This is.
And then again, I also want to say, if you guys see anybody on on my LinkedIn network that you guys would like to meet,
yeah,
feel free to contact us and we'll make the arrangements. So if there's anybody else who would like to be protected by it, we also would like to help out. We just want to make sure everybody, one person at a time, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Helps all us out.
Thank you so much, and great sharing with all of you tonight. And Kimberly, nice to meet you.
Thank you so
even
much.
through the teleconference through Elena and Andrea and Sawyer, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, make sure to email us. You guys have an hour, so.
Yes, I strongly suggest, lady, you take advantage of that. It doesn't do it for anybody, so just just for you. So I would definitely take advantage of it as a nice holiday present.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you have this recording, Elena, so I can try to see if Matthew's gonna be willing to listen to it.
Definitely. Yeah, I recommend he does.
Thank you so much. You both have, all of you have a good night and happy holidays.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
You too, ladies. Have a great rest of the week and talk soon. And thank you for attending. I will be sending you the recording so you can send it to any of your loved ones who could benefit from this information.
Thank you so
Elena.
much.
Bravo.
Thank you, and Andrea. Okay. Goodbye. Thank you.
Much love. Okay, let me stop the recording. 1 second.